Go to their website to find out more, TracyEllis.com.
It is a new year and a new time. We've got what we have waited for. It's about pizza, steak. I love it.
Weeknights 7 to 9.
Sean Hannity.
Delicious.
On FM News Talk 97.1. Listening to The Mark Cox Show. Find everything Mark Cox at 971talk.com/Cox.
I rise today, Mr. Speaker, to call for the impeachment of the President of the United States of America.
Wow. Well, that was a representative named Al Green on the floor. Now, obviously, he's not the first. Maxine Waters has been calling for this for a while, or at least saying that she's going to push for it. But he went to the floor of Congress calling for it. Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern covering this story, plus the special investigator that's been assigned in this case. Jared, was this a first to have this call on the floor of the House?
I think it was the first to have it called on the House of the floor of the House. Yeah, it doesn't mean much.
Right.
Democratic leadership certainly isn't going to support anything like that at this stage, and we've heard as much from Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff, the top Democrat on the Intelligence Committee, who actually went on with some passion about, we can't rush these types of things. Impeachment's such a wretched thing to have to go through. To wish that on anybody and to wish that for this country would be irresponsible. So, I mean, again, you heard Republicans, in some cases, consider it for President Obama. There were Democrats that considered it for President Bush. They don't usually go anywhere until they do. We're not nearly at that stage. Usually they play pretty well in the members' district, and that's probably what we're seeing at play.
Yeah, I would guess so, and I can, because of my position here, be a little more cynical than you. I'm guessing that if they think this might happen, they know there's no reason to hurry it, because the more they can milk it between now and the 2018 election cycle, the better off they are politically, right? For the left, that is, for the Democrats.
Well, I mean, I don't even know if it's that. If there's like a game plan or anything. I mean, certainly the what has raised the stakes is Robert Mueller now being special counsel. That does not mean that there is a prosecution afoot. That does not mean that there are criminal charges afoot. It's a step that the Justice Department, the Deputy Attorney General, took to try and create some separation between the administration and this investigation, given the new questions about pressure and what kind of separation may exist. Sometimes those investigations lead to something. We've certainly seen that happen in the last, quarter century, and sometimes they don't.
Yeah, let's talk about
Mueller. They also
Mueller.
can go in a lot of different directions, by the way. I had to be reminded that the Ken Starr investigation started off about Whitewater.
Sure, and then it kind of
ended in a much different place.
But a special investigator is different than the special prosecutor law that was in place, correct? Special counsel, right?
Prosecutor law that Ken Starr and those were under actually, I think, expired. That was it was a 3-judge panel that handled that. There were some differences in who they reported to, if they were fireable. That law actually was let sunset by Congress because of some concerns that both Republicans and Democrats had about how much power these special prosecutors could have. So this is a special counsel, as it's called, with Robert Mueller. He basically has the same power that a U.S. attorney would have.
Right.
Subpoena, can review classified documents, can impanel a grand jury, but major decisions, I believe, are still made or can be made by, I guess in this case, the Deputy Attorney General, since the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, recused himself from this investigation.
Yeah. Mueller, I was thinking about this. He was. This is almost probably the best of the options for the Republicans. If there's going to be a special counsel, Mueller's not. I've heard Joe Lieberman's name floated around for FBI director. I'm not sure.
He actually interviewed at the White House.
Yeah, I'm not sure picking former vice.
Appearance.
Yeah, I'm not sure picking a former vice presidential candidate of Al Gore is probably the best person for what needs to be a very nonpartisan position.
Remember, he was rumored to be on McCain's shortlist too for VP.
Yeah, I know. He's pretty well thought of, apparently, among some of the people in Washington. But
has a law enforcement background. He was Attorney General of Connecticut before he was a senator.
Right. But back to Mueller for a minute. He's considered to be pretty middle of the road, and he was a Bush appointee, correct?
The guy is, both. I mean, so remember, if you're not fired, the FBI director job is a 10-year job. Mueller served for 10 years into the Obama administration, and then President Obama asked him to serve additionally, and Robert Mueller had to get a waiver from the Senate to serve an additional 3 years in that job. So he was FBI director for 13 years. By the way, he was confirmed to that job. He started that job as FBI director 1 week before the September 11th attacks.
Right.
So oversaw a really big transformation within the Bureau. You're right, has a lot of bipartisan support. I have not heard any criticism from either party about Bob Mueller. Now, I have heard different thoughts on the need for a special counsel,
right?
But not about Robert Mueller having the job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. I've heard the same thing. Jared Halpern, thanks so much for your time.
Sure thing.
Have a great day, my friend. I appreciate that.
Right.
Good conversation with Jared. Always enjoy picking his brain because he often anchors a lot of their coverage out of Washington for breaking news events, and he's got a lot of experience in D.C. He's right about Mueller. I don't know what you think about Robert Mueller, but this could have been a much worse choice. As I said at the top of the show, I'm disappointed in Rod Rosenstein. I'm disappointed that he buckled to these demands for a special counsel. I just don't see the reason for it. You've got a Senate and a House committee specifically looking into this. That's where the change is going to happen to strengthen the U.S. election machine, if you would, to future potential hacks. But it all seems to ignore the fact that it's a counterintelligence investigation at this point. There's no allegation of collusion or evidence of collusion from anybody within the Trump campaign. I'm talking about intentional backroom meetings to somehow change America's direction toward Russia. Not an ounce of any of that has come forward. But you got to have a special counsel now to look into this, which no matter what Rod Rosenstein says, it puts a cloud over the Trump administration. Why on earth would the Republicans have wanted that? I just don't understand it. Did you hear the statement from Rosenstein when he made the announcement? This is Brett Baer. It was a written statement. This is Brett Baer reading that statement.
Rosenstein is acting Attorney General. Continuing the quote, I determined that this is in the public interest for me to exercise my authority and appoint a special